Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back, another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here on Thursday, January 2nd, except Sam's not here and I lied to you. Cam is here. Welcome in, Cam. Appreciate you for filling in. How are you doing?
Good. That means we're just going to talk about musicals the whole time, right?
Hey, don't
That's my
tempt me.
understanding.
Don't tempt me. Oh, that's Bobby. Where's Cam? I have a Cam one.
I'm
Here
in
we
there
go. I think
somewhere.
this is it. There it is. We're talking about the Celtics win over the Minnesota Timberwolves. A final score of 118 to 115. Huge game from Jayson Tatum. Some big shot making from Derrick White. Some weird defensive choices by the Celtics, but Joe Mazzulla, as per usual, won the math game, even though I think it was a dangerous math game to be playing. But one of the more entertaining games of the season, I would say. Both teams were making a ton of shots, and by both teams, I mean the Timberwolves were making a ton of shots.
Yeah.
But yeah, initial reactions to this one, Cam?
I'm just looking for the YouTube crowd. I'm just looking at the box score.
Mm-hmm.
My initial reaction is that they combined for like 93 3-point attempts. And it kind of worked. They were like 43 from 91 from three or something like that. Combined
96 3-point attempts, and they made 43. Yeah, so 43 and 96, which is pretty good.
I might need to go edit an article. That's okay. Yeah, this was I don't know. I'm so happy that we're like moving on from the skies falling in the NBA, and we can just enjoy that this was like a really good basketball game. It doesn't need to be about ratings. It doesn't need to be about anything other than Minnesota's not really that good on offense statistically, and Boston.
Yeah,
it was weird because Boston was really good on defense. They had 9 steals. They forced like 15 turnovers, something like that. It looked like they were playing good on defense, but at the same time, Minnesota scored 30 plus in 3 of 4 quarters. It was just that second quarter that Boston actually looked good with defense. So yeah, it was like a kooky game that you shouldn't over-index on. It was a lot of fun. Anthony Edwards looked like he was going to wake up, and then he completely had a brain fart at the end of the game. Derrick White had 13 points in the fourth quarter and banked in a 3. Like, it was just fun. It was a good, fun game.
Yeah, it's weird because I think the Celtics were playing good defense for the defense that they were playing. Like, I don't think their effort or their communication or their execution was bad. I just think the defensive game plan they were playing was basically Joe Mazzulla banking on the Timberwolves not being able to beat them with certain guys shooting the ball. And Jaden McDaniels made 4 of his 8 threes. Julius Randle made 5 of his 7 threes. Naz Reid and Dante DiVincenzo combined to go 7 of 10. Like, the guys that he maybe was okay with letting shoot a little bit made a lot of their 3-point shots. And the Timberwolves shot a season high 53.8% from behind the line. And luckily the Celtics dominated almost every other aspect of the game and just made more shots and had a very good offense and set each other up well and had 30 assists. And so, and like you mentioned, they had 9 steals, 4 blocks. So it was a good game other than that. And I think they executed the game plan that they wanted to be playing defensively. I just thought it was like, they won the math game, but it was a dangerous math game to be playing, I think.
Well, it also, like, so I don't know. I am a little bit older than you, so I'm pretty used to the, hey, let Carmelo Anthony score 30 points and the rest of the Knicks aren't going to score enough. And this was kind of the opposite. It was, don't let Ant Edwards do anything other than drive left. And so all he's going to do is kick it. And it kind of like encouraged the Timberwolves to move the ball around because you got a lot of drive and kick from Ant. So it maybe counterintuitively like woke up the rest of the Wolves. And then to your point, they had to have a season high game just to get close. So yeah, if the Celtics lost there, I think it would have fit neatly into some of the narratives we were kind of cooking up in December. And now that they won, it's just like, oh yeah, they hit a lot of threes and they can play defense when it matters. So it's fun. It was, again, I just like thoroughly enjoyed this basketball game.
This felt very much like if the Celtics had won the Caleb Martin Christmas game. That's what it felt like to me. And except they didn't win that one, and they won this one because they made more shots and were able to create more offense, even though they had a pretty good offensive showing.
Well, they also didn't have Jalen and Kristaps, which is like pretty important to what they do on both ends. So yeah, I don't know. I'm like so bored of people like talking about how bad the Celtics are, even though they've never been healthy, and how bad the NBA is, even though it's never been better.
Yeah, I agree. I think people complaining about the league nowadays is pretty cringe, but without Jalen and Kristaps,
cringe anymore. You're supposed to say it gives you the ick.
I can't say cringe.
No, that's what
am I behind? Oh, shit. Oh, that's okay. Without
a
JB
student.
and
Can I tell a
KP,
story?
please.
I had a student today. We got back from vacation and I had like a review activity, and so all the kids are like settling in, and he snaps his head back and goes, "Mr. T, Jayson Tatum is a rebounding demon." And I was like, "That's cool. That's pretty good."
He's not wrong.
He had 8
He's not
tonight.
incorrect. He did. And speaking of Tatum, Tatum was a monster in this game. I mean,
A demon, as it were.
a demon, absolutely. In my article, I do like 3 studs, 3 duds. I refer to him as the ultimate puppet master because it felt like everything the Celtics were doing was just like, all right, start with Tatum and we're gonna go from there. He had 33 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, 3 steals, 13 to 27, 6 to 17, a lot of 3-point attempts. And I'm gonna be honest, until the second half, it felt like, or even into the second half in the third quarter, it felt like he was taking a few shots. You're like, I feel like you could maybe not take those, but once he settled in and once he decided, he's like, all right, I'm just going to get the best shots possible. I'm just going to set my teammates up. I mean, he was doing everything in this game. 9 assists, obviously 33 points, and a relatively efficient night. This was one of those games where like, oh, wow, Jayson Tatum really does everything for this team.
Yeah, I mean, he had 16 points in the third, so say you take that away, his scoring numbers were a bit tough. But in that fourth quarter, like, he was definitely forcing the issue. I mean, he hit a few important shots in like the middle part of that quarter, but he was definitely forcing the issue in a big way later. But he also had several assists that were really important, a couple big rebounds. So I think probably, I don't think he likes Ant Edwards. I don't think the Celtics like Ant Edwards. So I think he wanted to show out. Yeah, I know you don't like Ant Edwards. I think he wanted to show out, and I think you and I have talked about this a little bit. Sometimes Jayson and Jalen still have those bad habits, and I think this was a Jayson game where like. Again, I think if you squint, he does an impression of LeBron James, as in he is like big, strong point forward. Yes. And this was one of those games, but then he also kind of like called his own number and maybe more of an impression of Carmelo Anthony again.
Yeah. It was good. There were just glimpses of the Tatum where you're like, maybe don't take that shot. Maybe calm down for a second. Derrick White made every single big shot he could possibly make. It felt like there was one at the end that he didn't make, but 10 of 25 at 10, 26 points, 2 blocks, because of course he had 2 blocks. This guy is a demon.
A lot of
in
demons.
The fourth quarter. Yeah, fourth quarter he had 13 points on 5 of 9, 2 of 5 shooting. He was ironically a negative.
Have you seen this screen grab of the face he made at Julius Randle after he banked in that three? If I send it to you, will you be able to put it on the screen right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to see this now. Derrick White was, dude, he was making every possible big shot the Celtics could have asked him to make. He didn't really do much like rebounding or assisting, but he was scoring.
So as you pull it up, let me give the play-by-play.
Please.
So Derrick has scored 10 points in the quarter. It's already a big deal. And then he banks in this crazy shot from the corner as time expires. And I guess this is the face he made of Julius Randle walking back up the court.
For the audio listeners, Derrick White is giving Julius Randle a look that like, shit, I definitely shouldn't have made that shot.
Yeah, I got away with one there for sure.
Oopsies. Shout out Derrick White, though, man. This guy is, I don't know if he'll get into the All-Star game just because of how much talent is in the Eastern Conference, but man, he deserves it.
Well, let me pull that open too. So Scal made an interesting point, which is, so it's 50% fan vote, and he's 10th in guards in the East right now. But he's within a shout of like 8th, 7th. He's pretty behind Maxey for that 7th spot. But there's like triple vote days and whatever, you never know. But that's only 50% of the vote. And then the media,
and
the coaches. Coaches pick the reserves.
Yeah, they could pick the reserves. So
so
maybe he could get in. But
I see the coaches picking him. So it looks like LaMelo is going to start in the All-Star game.
No, I don't think so. I don't think he'll.
No,
because that's only 50%, and then the players and the media pick the other. I think that'll tank it. I think it'll be Mitchell and Brunson starting the game. Brunson's kind of far down, but
so then the coaches can end up picking like.
I think it'll be
Trey.
Well, they can pick a max
Lillard
of 5 more guards. Yeah, 5 more guards because it can be the 3. They need 3 or 2. No, 4 more guards. 4 more guards. A max of 4 more guards. No, because I don't think so. Because I think let's say it's Brunson and Mitchell starting. That leaves a max of 4 guard spots.
LaMelo has to if he's the top vote getter. They can't ignore that.
Yeah, they can.
But they're not gonna like.
Zaza Pachulia was a top vote getter
Yeah,
a few
but
years
Zaza
ago.
Pachulia, that's awesome.
LaMelo Ball doesn't deserve to be an all-star. The Hornets have won 7
Uh,
games. He is the worst defender in the NBA. He fouls 4 times a game. I think LaMelo's dog shit. I think he's the most overrated player. I think he's the next
Can I
best.
push back for a second?
Sure.
And you know how much I hate the NBA Cup, so like I am not pushing for this.
Mhm.
But if the fans vote for him in like staggering numbers, the All-Star game is a product for teenagers anyways. Like I feel like the league's got to step in and say like, look, coaches, the kids love watching this kid play.
He is
like
putting up ridiculous stats. I think he's not a
no,
winning
he's
player at all.
no serious person likes watching LaMelo Ball play basketball, but lots of people watch it for fun.
People say the Celtics play an annoying brand of basketball. You're actually talking about LaMelo Ball. Like, let's get it twisted.
So say it's Donovan and Damian.
Say it is LaMelo or Donovan. I think it'll be Donovan and Brunson. That'll leave
but then
LaMelo and Damian off the bench. That means Derrick is going to have to compete with Tyler Hero, Trae Young, Tyrese Halliburton, Tyrese Maxey, Cade Cunningham.
Halliburton's not in the top 10. Oh yeah, Halliburton. Yeah.
I don't even think
Cade is a guard.
I think he has a chance. Yeah, he's a point guard.
I guess so. He's so tall.
I just don't think I think Maxey's going to get in over him. I think Cade would get in over him. I think Tyler Hero would get in over him. Unfortunately, Tyler Hero's having a ridiculous season. He's playing incredible. He's the best player on the Heat this season.
No, Tyler Hero, yeah. Yeah, and like defense is not what coaches are looking for.
Well, I think coaches more than anybody do, but Tyler Hero's averaging 24, 6, and 5 on 48, 41 splits is leading them to a potential playoff spot because Van's offense has been ass. And
do we know you know how like normally it's the head coach of the team that's leading in the standings at a certain date gets to be the head coach of the. So that would
Kenny Atkinson
be Kenny Atkinson, but But like the TNT guys are the coaches, so does he have to go?
Are they the coaches?
I think so, or like the general managers. But are there going to be 4 coaches? Like, will Joe be?
I didn't know that. Oh, I have no idea. I didn't even know that was a part of the change this year.
So dumb. That's why it's like just let LaMelo play. Like it's all dumb. They ruined it anyways. Like
it's true. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. They need to make all-stars positionless because there's too many guards and I don't know, forwards aren't as good. Anyways, back to the Timberwolves game. Not as deep a talent pool as the guard position, in my opinion. Because like I think the all-stars forwards in the East are going to end up being Giannis, Towns, and Tatum starting, Brown off the bench, and then what? Where's your next all-star after that? Evan Mobley?
Mobley, but that's not like
Siakam, Jalen Johnson.
Siakam's a good one. Jalen Johnson would be sick.
I know, but like
Banchero and Franz will be hurt still.
Yeah, they won't be able to do it. And so that means you're going to have I think so, yeah. That means you're going to have probably Mobley, Siakam, and Jalen Johnson in, and then guys like Trae Young, LaMelo, or Tyrese Maxey out, which doesn't really make sense to me.
Wow, the East All-Star team is hot garbage. We're doing this on Celtics Lab next week, so I haven't like really thought about it yet.
Yeah, it's going to be bad, significantly worse than
holy mackerel. There's got to be better forwards in the East. No, the Celtics are definitely going to the finals. Right? Like, isn't that the takeaway here? Like, I
think so. I mean, the Cavs and the Knicks are pretty good, but we'll see if you can beat them in a 7-game series.
The most important player to have when you're playing the Celtics would be a wing.
The Knicks, I think, can guard the Celtics really well. OG and Mikal Bridges.
Yeah, but then they have like Towns can't guard anyone.
No.
Like the Celtics are going to play the two. No,
I think the Cavs are probably the best matchup for the Celtics. But then they can just bully Darius Garland. So we'll see what happens. Back to the Timberwolves game.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Hit it.
I was going to say, I never want the Celtics to have a player that's an obvious defensive liability the way they did with Isaiah or Kemba and the way that these teams that we're identifying do now.
Done away with that.
Peyton looked bad on defense again tonight.
He did. Him and Sam. Sam's been rough too defensively
but his
for the
last
last little bit.
Doesn't work.
I know. It's probably an injury thing, but on the plus side, Sam Hauser's shot seems to be a lot better. They had 5-11 tonight. He was huge.
Especially early. Yeah, they needed that early too. Queta was
quietly
great. How about Queta?
Queta, I was just going to say the backup bigs, Luke Cornett and Neemias Queta were both awesome for the Celtics. Queta in particular, because he literally finished the game. He was a plus 17 and no one else was more than a plus 5. So he really made an impact. His physicality. Him and Cornett were just constantly in the right place to, whether it was Cornett, making plays at a short roll and finding a pass, or Queta just being open for a lob dunk. They were both really good positionally in this game, and that I think that helped a lot.
That take foul from Queta was a little rough, but
He's gonna have those.
Like at the end of the second quarter, just like a few of his vertical plays, so fun. And like I guess Luke can give you that a little bit, but Queta just like is that much bigger and rangier.
Yes.
Like that, was it Drew who inbounds? It was right off the baseline for an oop to Queta.
Yeah. I think
That
it
was cool. That
Drew
was
had a
really cool.
quietly good game too. Drew was really, really impactful, even though the numbers weren't like, oh my god, Drew Holiday game. He had what he finished with. He had I was looking at the Timberwolves 11, 3, 8, and 2 steals. Yeah, I mean you can notice the difference in the way the Celtics play when Drew is playing and when Drew is not playing.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I just again like I know this is not just like a high end analysis. I just thought this was like such an excellent basketball game
It
that
was.
like there weren't egregious reviews. There was. I mean, the Timberwolves shot a lot of free throws, but it wasn't like constantly
True.
watching guys go free throws. Timberwolves, it's like a classy stadium, and you'd miss so much of like what was enjoyable about this if you just like followed along on Twitter, like or waiting for the highlight package because the pacing of this game was really good.
Yeah, I mean the game opened with both teams not being able to miss a shot. Like the Timberwolves were red hot right from the start of the game, which was crazy to watch. I mean, probably borderline frustrating for the Celtics because their whole game plan was, oh, let's let these guys shoot a little bit, and shoot they did, but the Celtics just won the margins, and they only made one more three than the Timberwolves. The reason they were able to win this game is because they made one more three than Timberwolves, but they made 9 more shots than Timberwolves because they
Just
took
like straight up, yeah.
they took 18 more shots. So
But the
it was
Timberwolves had that many more free
free
throws.
throws, true. So that's what made it a close game. I think the Celtics just the turnover battle was really what won the game, I think.
Well, also, so Minnesota's first quarter, 35 points was their season high for points scored, and
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if the 16 points they had in the second quarter was the least they had. So it's just like wacky. Do you think Kristaps will play tomorrow? So the Celtics are on the road Friday night in Houston. I assume Jaylen Brown is
Yeah.
playing. I would also
I
assume Al
don't.
Horford is sitting.
Horford will definitely sit. I don't think Kristaps plays. The fact that Al
Did he
Horford is
travel with
sitting
the team?
means maybe. I assume. I was admittedly watching in the living room and watching Deal or No Deal Island on the second TV with my roommates. So don't you laugh. Deal or No Deal Island rocks. Great show.
No, I love it. That's
Thoroughly enjoying it.
just
I
wouldn't
don't know
have
if you're a
expected that.
Survivor head. I'm not a Survivor head, but Boston Rob's on the first season, so
Oh, great.
kind of sick. Let me look up that stat for you. That the Timberwolves most points scored by the Timberwolves in a quarter. Scored by
I saw online it was tonight. It was 35, but I'm worried about fewest.
this season. So the most, I think you are correct. They scored. Wait, no, they scored 45 against the Bulls earlier this year in a quarter. Which
Man,
is
I have like a bunch of bad information in my
insane.
recap. I need to address.
That's the 7th most they've scored in a quarter this season in the first quarter, and the fewest points scored in a quarter by the Timberwolves
Wait, can
was
I
15.
Can I like live react to something Jimmy Butler said?
Please, yeah. I think I saw this. It's on my second monitor right now.
I don't play hard. What will fix it? What do you want to see happen to fix it? What do I want to see happen? I want to see me get my joy back from playing basketball.
Yeah, I don't need to listen to this right now. But that seems like that's not going well.
Well, he was asked if you can. He said he was asked if he can find his joy here, as in Miami, and he said probably not.
Probably not.
Uh-oh. Things are deteriorating, man. I don't know. I think Jimmy Butler to the Rockets would be the most fun. What do you say?
Sam's
some dumb shit.
He's not doing his job, but he's tweeting some BS. I'm sure he has his reasons.
I think the most fun. I lied. I said Rockets. I think Jimmy Butler to the Spurs would be the most fun. That'd be so fun.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool if the Spurs just went all in for De'Aaron Fox and Jimmy Butler and like.
Oh, I don't know if they can
tried to win a
crazy
playoff round this season.
If they got both of those guys, I think they could go to the conference finals.
Yeah, I mean, Wemby seems like that. He's that good. I don't know, Jimmy. It's interesting. He's got $52 million player option next year. You have to be a madman to turn down 52 guaranteed $1 million unless he can get that much money in more years.
Yeah,
but like I don't know that he can.
I would turn it down if I can get 30 plus for like 3-4 years.
Yeah, but I don't know that he can.
But I don't know if he can do that. Anyways,
no one has any
Timberwolves. It's true. I mean, the Nets do, but I don't know if you want to go to the Nets. The Spurs could clear up some money, though, which I think would be interesting. But regardless, Celtics Timberwolves was fun. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. We can get on out of here. One of the more entertaining games of the season. Missoula math was weird with the defense, but they got the job done. Make sure to follow Cam on Twitter at @CTabatabai, which is on the screen if you're on YouTube. And I'm going to make you all spell it on Twitter if you're on the audio platforms. But make sure to subscribe to How About Them Celtics, to Celtics Lab as well. Follow us on all platforms. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Taco, come on.
Taco's having some fun here.